Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Educational Gamer and we are playing Strategic Command in February 1942, playing as the Allies against the Axis. It is time for the Allied move. We did move the Soviets last time, and with the Allies I actually want to start over with North America instead of the usual route of dealing with the home theatre of the UK. And the reason for that is I kind of want to decide of what I want to do with the US forces. Whether it might be more important to bring them down towards Africa and launch an attack on Italy, or whether we might want to array them for an invasion of the continent in the long term. So until we do that, I think it's most important to see how far we can get here in South Africa. So there, in Africa, North Africa even. So there does seem to be a sandstorm over here. These German troops over here are pretty ready. Their morale is fairly high. And it might actually be very difficult to break them. We also should take into account these carriers over here have lost a little bit because there was a German submarine over here somewhere that did deal a lot of damage to them. There we go. There it is. Yeah, let's conduct a raid on them. So yeah, that's very nice. They did lose some of their strength, but not too much. Right, we probably can't do much with our carriers over here. We could fly them over here. It is land arid. There's a sandstorm over there. There is no sandstorm. No, there's a sandstorm in the sea tiles as well. So we'll probably not be able to launch our aircraft from these guys. I really wonder why they're so good at this. Is it possible to break this position at all, I wonder? We do have tanks, but I suspect that tanks will be dealing pretty badly against anti-armored divisions. Well, our readiness simply isn't where theirs is, even though our supply is actually higher. So I'm guessing we'll simply need to sit it out for a while over here. Could bring in the battleship over here. Reduce the strength of that position so that the supply gets lower. I think that's what we need to do actually. So bring the battleship down here. Let's conduct a strike on these guys. Reduce the reduce the supply value of that position. Do we know how high it is? It is at a 4. And that might be enough to bring it down over time. Yeah, let's do a strike with the artillery. It's sort of firing blindly, but still I think that's going to be alright. Yeah, so not much we can do over here right now. The carriers then. Should we keep them up here? I do in principle like to have some more ability to strike, especially on these submarines. So let's actually bring over our battle cruiser towards Alexandria so it can be reinforced. And these carriers, we could reinforce them. Yeah, let's do that. I think before we go into the any other place, it does make sense to bring these guys up to speed. You can advance. There's not a great deal of supply in any of these ports really, but it's fine I think. There's an Italian submarine as well. Can our tactical bomber strike any of these guys? You cannot. So yeah, it is kind of difficult to get into a good position over here. Light cruisers. Let's bring in the light cruisers over here. We might give them an anti-submarine warfare upgrade at some point, and that should be alright. Good. And that does leave our submarines over here. We can bring you up a little. Your supply is pretty good. Would like them to be over here in this sort of area, and that should be alright. Right, in the North Sea then, we do know about a German submarine that was over here, that dived away from us, so I am keen to find that with our destroyers, so let's actually bring up a couple of British destroyers towards this northern route, maybe some Canadians as well, and maybe next time, if we can find it, we do have enough forces then to strike at it and sort of decimate it. But you really need to have these strong groups of destroyers that can... Oh! There's another submarine over here. It's unfortunate that I did move this last. And yeah, it's rainy in Scotland again. Is it rainy over here? Yeah, there are storms. Over here it's calm. But that's no good. We have some destroyers over here that should be reinforced. Can't really bring you that far up. Which one is this one? U-37. We should keep that in mind. These destroyers need to be reinforced. Yeah, the UK is starting to wear thin a little bit on this naval war, but for now we are fine. What's actually the quickest way from here to get towards over here? Well, I think we're just passing through the Med. There's very little threat in the Mediterranean, so I think that's going to be alright. Let's bring over here towards Gibraltar. That should be fine. You likewise can come all the way to Gibraltar. And we have a nice Force H over there then. Force H was the historical position of the Brits in Gibraltar. More destroyers. We do have a fairly sizable force over there now. These submarines I think are fine where they are. We have some naval bombers, but there's no point doing any of this. Could scout a little around with these light cruisers. Let's look at the positions up here in the north. I think the aircrafts could be reinforced, but only by 1 point. Can we upgrade the carrier then? We can, with better fighters, which I think is a good choice. We do have 2 heavy carriers, and we do have a battleship. What don't you have? I think AA guns, right? No anti-submarine warfare stuff. So overall, I think if we keep 2 battleships in the North Sea and 2 heavy cruisers, that should really be ample. So these 2 guys are fine. And what we're going to do with these guys is send them towards Japan over here as well. Good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we do know that the Germans do have a couple of submarines, but I very much doubt that they do have much else. So yeah, I think this force is fine. On the destroyer side, I'm really not that convinced. But you know what? These light cruisers will get an upgrade of anti-submarine warfare stuff as well, so that they are at least a little bit better at that. And that should be fine. And you guys will be kept in port for now. And we can bring these light cruisers in as well, retrofit them for some anti-submarine warfare capabilities, and that should be fine. Your air group needs to be reinforced, so let's do that. These battleships are fine. These fighters can get an upgrade. These heavy cruisers could get a naval upgrade, but for now I think we are good over there. Let's bring 1 towards the east coast, and you can hang around Scapa Flow, and that should be alright. And this battleship is fine where it is. And let's keep an eye on the weather situation in Scotland. I'm kind of reluctant to keep these naval bombers over here if they are not capable of conducting any strikes. You know what? Since you guys are in range, what I'm going to do over here is set you towards a radar position so that you can strike this position if you do develop a nice situation. These tactical bombers over here are fine for now. So what we need to do then is bring you in towards a port. And that could be this one. And that's fine. Good. Right. The Americans, we will ask you to kindly keep an eye on the convoy routes. And you likewise will come home. And ultimately you should be getting a couple of upgrades in terms of anti-submarine warfare capabilities. But that is taking a while at least to produce that. So we can keep you on this position over here for now, so that at least we can keep eyes on these supply lines and spot submarines if they do get anywhere close. Let's bring you back into port. You are fine where you are right now. Guess we could actually bring it towards, what's that, Norfolk? Yeah. Bring it down to Norfolk, down there. And that is alright for the Americans over here. Oh, by the way, in terms of research, so I think the Americans just discovered advanced fighters, didn't they? Yeah, so they're now at level 3, the UK is at level 3, that's fine. We would get up to level 4, so I think ultimately we will probably want to invest a little bit more into that, but for now it's okay. So I think we dealt with most of this. Yeah, there's even the garrison in Egypt, which we'll keep in Alexandria, I think. And then East Africa. Now this is a little bit more interesting. We can move these tactical bombers towards the north, get them up over here. Could operate them, of course, over there, but that wouldn't necessarily be required. Right, and then everyone else can actually make their way over to the coast to get a little bit more. What's over there? Can you? You cannot walk much faster. And he'll send you towards that port over there. These garrisons, well, can you get at least towards the road? Yes, please, and thank you. So yeah, we are pretty much evacuating all of these guys. I think we should really get Djibouti towards our side. Oh, I didn't know there was that type of sound. Well, let's get you over here. So these guys are ready to move out, and that I think is fantastic. The situation in Burma has developed pretty badly for us, so before we do anything else with you guys, we should actually upgrade you, and that is the Indian supply. So yeah, down here we are seeing a lot of Japanese advancing on our positions, which obviously is not nice. We also see a lot of enemy units around here. Our battleship should now be fine. We could bring it up here, conduct some strikes, but I'm loathsome to see where the Japanese exactly are, so let's make sure that we are pushing down here as long as we can with our units. I think you should actually try to get over here, although I'm not convinced that that is even remotely possible. How's the supply situation? How's the potential supply situation, I should say? 443. It's very difficult. Let's bring it down here. As far as we can go for now. These fighters, you could attack some of these places, but right now there's no point doing that. You need to come down a little. Some action points. But yeah, now you're fine, you're covering everyone, and that is what matters. So that is okay. Over here then, in the North Chinese area, we can attack over here. That's fine, these engineers should be alright. We actually need to swap these guys out, but can you move now? Well, you cannot, but just close in on them. You can't even move down there. Okay, let's swap these guys. That is costing us some morale, but I think it will be fine because these guys should be falling, but of course they are not. Move ahead a little bit. That's fine. Down here, not much that we need to do. In between episodes I will rearrange that slightly. Oh well, you know what. Before we go on and talk about this in great length, let's simply put an army over here as a reaction force, and everyone else will move down over here. And that's fine. These garrisons are all fine. That army is fine. Everyone is sort of guarding some supply lines. Let's keep on pushing on Hong Kong to try and liberate that. Well, that was not that successful, I have to say. And this army we can bring to Canton. You guys can at least advance over here, conduct this strike. Battles are very consistently worse than expected. And, well, then what the Chinese should really do is upgrade a couple of their forces to the latest set of weaponry, so that you'll not be surprised anywhere by a funny attack of anyone. And we do have the points as nationalist China, so I think that's very fine. Yeah, okay. So yeah, over here these guys really have the worst weaponry, and they are the most attacky, so to say. Can we upgrade you? No, we cannot, but I think the supply situation down here is a little bit bad. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's bring it over here, and then we can upgrade you next time, I think. Right, everyone else should be fine. Let's move these guys down here to cover that area. And that's good. Okay, so that does cover China. Again, Burma though. Heavy cruiser? Heavy cruiser could attack the carrier. Even the light cruiser could attack the carrier. Even the submarines could attack the carrier. But they probably need to be reinforced. Can we not reinforce you that much more? Apparently not. We did bring in some Indians. Let's advance over here into that supply depot. That might be useful. I mean, you're much worse than these guys, but at least you will be able to grab some supply from over here. Heavy cruiser, some more naval bombers. We could launch attacks on these guys. But I do think about striking this carrier group over here. So it would be a one-on-one trade. Let's strike with the light cruiser. We are causing some damage towards the carrier, so that I think is fine. Could strike with the submarine, it wouldn't be quite as good. Could again strike with the aircraft. Let's bring up our heavy cruiser and conduct a strike on the carrier. Yeah, that was very, very decent actually, for what I thought would be a much worse attack. And let's keep on following these guys with the submarines. And then we are gonna bomb. Ooh, and we are being intercepted. Damage evaded, that is nice. And they even get some damage. Ooh, and the carrier got a lot of damage. We might be able to pull this off, so let's try to attack again. Very good. Damage evaded, also very good. What else have we got? We've got these fighters. They can't do much. Cruiser did its turn, so yeah, let's try to attack with the submarines. Ah! Very, very nearly. Just 1 point of damage left on these guys. And we could have taken them. Okay, so let's bring up the battleship over here. Don't think I want to risk it for a bombardment. That should be fine though. And then what we can do is bring these submarines toward this base, and carriers get into Kolkata itself for refits and repairs and all of that. So that is alright. And really what I would really love to strike these guys. We do have a heavy cruiser left, but I don't want to lose it, so let's not be silly over here. I think, ooh, we do have this light cruiser. Well, if we don't run into any enemy, we might be able to. So that I think is a chance I do want to take. Nice! Very nice. Did sink a carrier of the Japanese, so that should definitely hurt their morale. Also, a very important naval target, of course, that we sank right there. So very, extremely happy about this result. Where do we want to send our submarines then? They are not the strongest, and they do need to be repaired. The light cruisers don't really need to be repaired. I just want to get them out of harm's way. So let's bring in the light cruisers in the strait over here. That should be fine. And that means the submarines can dock. These light cruisers will be exposed, but that is just how it needs to be. This light cruiser could be upgraded. These could be repaired. You know what, I think that is what we need to do, to repair these guys. That does cost us a couple of points for the UK, but all in all I think that is a fine idea. Fighters down here, not much you can do for now. Some Japanese forces over here towards Guadalcanal. which isn't quite as crucial for now. Some forces over here. Oh, you should be reinforced, I think, for the Chinese. Do have fighters over here, do have fighters over here. You should be reinforced. Reinforce. Are there many more places that we should spend some points on? Well, we could over-strengthen you, but I don't think that's a wise investment usually. Okay, everyone else is fine. Good. Okay, so as the US then playing against Japan. So firstly, these guys I think should try to get home. And that is one of our bases, right? Midway, yes. Let's try to sail over here and not run into an enemy carrier also. You I think are fine for the moment. I think you are only conducting strike against one of these sea lanes though, so might be okay to move you over there as well. And that does bring us to the crucial question about what to do over here around Midway. So there's a light cruiser sitting about over there. We do have a couple of heavy cruisers over here. And we do have these carriers. Let's bring in this heavy cruiser into the port and start striking the light cruiser. Ooh, suffering a lot of damage over there. But at least that did confirm that there are no further naval units around over here. At least for now. There don't seem to be any immediately in the vicinity. These carriers can move up, but they can't move up all the way, so what we actually might want to do is bring you up over here behind that base. And we'll actually set you to be mixed, I think. And that it does allow us to conduct one strike on the light cruiser. Which does move out, but we are not that badly positioned. Let's do another one. Ooh, that was a much better strike. Although we did suffer some return damage. So, ideally I would like to upgrade my carrier fleet as quickly as possible. So we should move 2 of these guys into port over here. One is already over here. That does mean we can bring in the heavy cruiser as well. On the other hand, destroying an enemy ship is very important, so let's make sure we sink that so that it doesn't come back too quickly. And then we can actually bring you to port. And that is fine as well. Oh, I miscounted. Okay, we only have 2 carriers. Yeah, fine. You're going to get over there. You're going to be upgraded over here with better fighters and better bombers. How much of a difference does that actually make? 25%, so increasing that quite a bit. And over here, yeah. Again, certainly a very good upgrade on what is already a very expensive ship. And then the heavy cruisers can also get into base and be upgraded next time. Not much else we can do over here. We could upgrade these guys to some point that I don't really find that fanciful. Upgrade the fighters over there. You I guess can get over here since apparently you can't be upgraded over here. And that should be fine. And then these destroyers. We will actually keep you around over here. Scout out a little bit. Really don't think it's worthwhile to upgrade you actually, but that's fine. Any other ship? Yes, there's a heavy cruiser that should be upgraded to have better weapons, and that's fine. Good. We also have these battleships that could come all the way over here, except all of the ports are occupied, and I would like to upgrade you as well, so no real reason to do that. We can just sail them over there normally. Stay sort of in a battle line. Don't get too fancy. Okay, that's fine. Against these submarines down here, I don't think there's anything that we can do really. These submarines are fine. Did we get any new units as the US? We did. A battleship in Los Angeles. That's very nice to see. Yeah, let's put you over here and then we can sail you forth next term. Australian troops, you can't be placed over there, so let's get you down here. Tactical bombers in China. That is very lovely to see, because that will allow us to conduct some strikes down there as well. So let's place you over there. And a medium bomber group for India, which we're going to place over here, so you can potentially strike into this vicinity. And that might be nice. Good. So, did sink a carrier, did sink a light cruiser. We have these light cruisers over here for the UK / other units. But yeah, I think you need to be upgraded so that you can at least hunt some of the other guys. So let's make sure you are top notch. Let's reinforce the American headquarters over here and bring up some of the Australians at least towards that port. And I think that's alright. Yeah, fine. Kiwis we are going to keep over there for now. And that I think is very good. Did we witness some attacks? I think we did witness some attacks off the on these harbor facilities, so that actually means we might want to upgrade these guys towards better AA weapons. Yeah, and it looks like you'd be considerably better at defending. Yeah, so let's do that. Can we upgrade this way? No, we cannot. But let's upgrade the harbor in Singapore, and that should protect us at least a little bit against these forces. Good. Batavia, you are fine for now. These fighters are okay. Well, unless we can pull you back somewhere. And that might not be the worst idea. Unless you're coming down. But you won't be coming down because you need to protect that harbor, otherwise your supply will collapse. And you shouldn't be able to come all the way across here because there's a zone of control. So yeah, all of that is okay. You guys have only moved into that position, so you'll not be able to move right this turn. So that should be alright. These guys are okay. Yeah, everyone else seems to be fine. So that only leaves us with looking at what else we need or want to buy. Soviet Union, I think, should save up on some of its points. The UK could do some upgrades on some of its fighter brigades, I think, or some of its other units that are sort of sitting around over here. So let's look at the special forces in Newcastle and give them a little bit of an AA bump. And likewise, these Canadian forces should get a little bit of AA cover because the Germans are very successful in using their AA. We should potentially reinforce these Canadian tanks, but maybe the fighters over here are more important. That does about settle it for the UK forces, though. Mostly. Some of these forces still could be upgraded. We can't do the heavy cruiser yet. How about these guys down here? Heavy cruisers have been upgraded. Not for anti-submarine warfare stuff, but how about you? No, you just moved in. Yeah. No, I think all in all you guys are fine. Or cannot be upgraded anyway. Special forces for mobility maybe? No, for anti-aircraft defenses. That's alright, we don't necessarily need that. So yeah, I think for the UK actually it makes the most sense to upgrade, to reinforce these tanks. So that they are very effective. Good. US, China doesn't really do anything. India doesn't do anything. We should also save up some points so that we can move units around. So that does leave us with the USA. We should look at research. Yeah, we are a little bit behind. Anti-submarine warfare, we are researching that. Anti-air defenses might be nice since we are fighting quite a bit against the Japanese weapon systems. Advanced tanks, advanced fighters. I think we should keep on pushing the fighter envelope, so to say. This is already maxed out. This could be produced, but then again, why? That is okay. Amphibious warfare. is definitely something that we do need to look at. Even more. Yeah, let's spend more on this. That does mean it will be coming in earlier. So we have the ability to spend one thing of worth 125 units over here. So, and the aircraft defenses are good. Let's do that. The Japanese do have a lot of carriers, so that's fine. Not that many points left, so let's not buy anything as the US for now. And let's save a couple of points, and I think that should be fine. Also, we are very close to the 30-minute mark, so I think this is a very good place to put in a cut and see what the Japanese will do. Oh, can I move you? I can. Let's try to pull you back a little. So yeah, I think all in all we are doing okay as the US. We are making a little bit of a pushback. Sank 1 light cruiser, not immediately great, but also the British / Australians, New Zealand's and and Java people over here managed to sink a carrier of the Japanese, and that I think is the very first carrier that has been sunk in the entire game. So hooray! Thank you very much for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.